the 2023 Sports Hall of Fame member, Mr. Jerry Sands.
Well, all right. Reached the pinnacle when I'm getting comparisons to Taylor Swift, so I know it's a big deal. But said this here without having a podium, but I already told Kevin. He tried to show me up a little bit, but I told Kevin, I said, there's no way that they would misinterpret which one was which, because Kevin's way better looking than I am. So size doesn't really matter when it comes to that. I'd like to start, obviously, thank you to Drew for that opening, but I'd like to give a few thank yous. Coach Gant and this whole committee for having me here tonight. The committee's doing a great job year after year hosting these events. And kind of piggybacking on what Kevin said, Coach Gant has meant a lot to me as well, as a man and as a ball player. I learned a lot in my time here, and our relationship continues even till today. Also, my family, my parents are not able to be here tonight. There's some stuff going on, some health issues going on, but obviously they mean a lot to me. They've meant a lot to my career, so they couldn't be here, but my wife, Morgan, and my boys are here, so really happy they're here. My boys have been on the ride with me a little bit throughout my career, but Morgan's been here ever since before I played out here, but she went to many games in Newman Park, traveled to many games on the road with my dad. Heard they would be the traveling companions on the road, so I thank her for continuing to keep our family together, continuing to be my support pretty much every night when I would come home, whether good or bad games, she was always there, so thank you to her. I was asked tonight to kind of share a little bit of my story. I know Drew kind of filled you in a little bit, and I hope to give you a little bit more of an in-depth look than you can kind of get from a Google search or a Wikipedia page. So my story has been a little far from typical, very challenging at times, but it's been extremely fun. A lot of situations that didn't really work out how I had anticipated them at the time, but in the end it was kind of God's plan and how it worked. I think Kevin and Kendra both hit it kind of on the head, or all our speeches are kind of intertwined, and how kind of those plans in life don't necessarily work, but if you work hard, then obviously a lot of things are good are going to come out of them. I'm going to kind of start my journey here at Newman Park. Coming out of high school, my dream, obviously, like most of these players, is that big D1 school. I think, like I said, when you see all the big hype of the big schools, you want to go to the big, like I said, I grew up in ACC country, so I wanted to go to one of those big schools. And obviously some things didn't work out, and I didn't have that opportunity, but I had an opportunity to come here. And that was all I could really wish for, is to have an opportunity to continue to play. The next 3 years were great. You hear some of the accolades. I don't like talking numbers and talking, what I did, but I really like talking about the wins. And we had some really good teams, and a great 3 years here. Had a lot of fun times. So after those 3 years, I started getting a few calls, started talking to some scouts, and I realized that the next level could be an option. I did a bunch of workouts. I did a bunch of filled out a bunch of too many questionnaires that I didn't like. Trying to talk about yourself in these questionnaires, they want to find the bad things about you, and you want to write the good things. So I spoke with a lot of people when it comes to the draft, and a lot of people pretty much gave me the idea that I was going to get drafted in the top 10 rounds. That day came, and I took the day off of my summer ball that draft day, and the first day and a half went by, and I ended up dropping all the way down and getting drafted by the Dodgers in the 25th round. I was pretty disappointed at the time, but that came and went when I realized I had a new opportunity in my hands. And that was going to be playing professional baseball. So I got shipped down to Vero Beach, Florida. I was in the Gulf Coast League. That was my first adventure into pro ball, and I realized I was very far away from Salisbury, where 80% of my team was Latin American. So I was not very good with the Spanish at the time, but I picked up the curse words very quickly. I did The year after getting drafted, I didn't actually make a full season team, so I ended up going into what we call extended spring training. Kind of one of those disappointing moments. Again, I played that year. I went to Ogden, put together Ogden Raptors, and in Utah put together a pretty good season. The following year, again, I got sent back down to A-ball, which was very disappointing at that time as well. I continued to work hard. I knew being a 25th round pick, I was going to have to work my way through. So I worked pretty hard, finished that year out in AA. Ended up finishing the year really well in AA and opened the next year at AAA. So things started to pick up a little bit. And then in April 18th of 2011, I made a major league debut. Obviously, you work your whole career for that moment. And it was a big day for me. I got to face the Atlanta Braves, a team which around here is kind of who a lot of people pull for. It's one of the closer ones. So I got to face the Atlanta Braves, face Tim Hudson, who's a perennial all-star and stud, and actually hit a double, and I got an RBI off Tim Hudson that day. So it was a huge accomplishment for me, for my family, for all those years that I had worked. There is a big saying that we usually use. It's used in a lot of different situations, but I know around professional baseball it's a big saying. The saying is that it's pretty difficult to get there, but it's even harder to stay there. And they're talking about reaching the big leagues, but actually staying in the big leagues. And that was pretty much the story of my career from then on. Like many rookies, I had lots of ups and downs. Ended up going back and forth to the minor leagues all through 2011. 2012, same deal. Up and down, up and down. And at the end of the 2012 season, I was actually traded to Boston and then Pittsburgh in the same offseason. 2013, ended up in AAA Indianapolis. 2014, I was in Tampa Bay Rays organization. I was in Durham and Tampa. 2015, I was in Columbus and Cleveland. 2016, I was in Charlotte and the Chicago White Sox. And then in 2017, I couldn't even find a job. I ended up having to go play independent ball up in New Jersey. I followed that up by actually getting back into affiliated ball. I signed with the Giants, and they sent me to AA ball, which I hadn't played in over 6 years, but I was back in affiliated ball. The following year, I re-signed with them. They sent me to AA, and luckily, by the end of the year, I moved up to AAA. So, just to recap, in case I lost you, I even have to write it down because I get so lost with it. Just in case I lost, in the 10 years of professional baseball stateside, I played for 7 different organizations, 18 different teams, and moved over 30 times. So, that was just how I planned it out when I got drafted out of here. That was just what I was looking for. So, and just a few of the highlights of those 10 years. I got to play along Matt Kemp in his 2011, his MVP worthy season. Kershaw also had a 20-win season that year. Hit my first big league homer in Chicago off Mark Burley. I met celebrities, Gene Simmons, Magic Johnson, George Lopez, Bear Grylls, a bunch of other people. I got hazed and had to walk the streets of San Diego in a Greek goddess outfit. That was a big deal. I signed my name on the back of the Green Monster in Fenway. And then I played along and against guys like Derek Jeter, Mike Trout, Big Papi, Evan Longoria, Chipper Jones. Then there was also a few lows. My job security and uncertainty. It seemed like year after year, we were kind of like, where are we going to be next? Am I even going to be able to play next? I had a season-ending injury in 2014, played an independent ball in 17, and then I had a few pinch hit at-bats against Aroldis Chapman that didn't go very well. So ball gets real small and I come in about 103. So after those 10 years, we decided that we needed a little change. I mean, we've been settled the whole time, so we figured might as well make it interesting. So we decided to go a little bit farther away. I got the opportunity to go play for the Nexen Heroes, which is actually in the Korean baseball, the pro baseball meeting South Korea. We were based out of Seoul. I got to continue to play, which was all that we really wanted. We had to learn a new country, a new culture, and for the next year and a half, we made the most of it and traveled all over the country. Living internationally, it taught us quite a few things. One of which is that kimchi and dried squid would not be a staple in our house. They were a luxury over there, and we were not a fan. So we met people, went places that we would have never dreamed, never thought of. And during this time, I also played pretty good baseball. So that kind of led us into my next step, which was another move, another country, and another culture to try and figure out. This time we moved to Japan. So in the 2020 and 2021 season, we moved over to Osaka, Japan. And I played for the Hanshin Tigers. So if you haven't ever seen, Koshien Stadium was our home stadium. If you haven't ever seen it, you guys need to Google it. It is actually the only active professional baseball stadium with a full dirt infield. Really good when it's not raining, it's really nice, and when it's nice and dry, it's really nice. But after about the third or fourth inning, it gets a little choppy. But it is beautiful. It is something over there that is the kids come and they grab. I can't even describe the dirt, how dark it is, but a lot of the high school kids will come and they will collect handfuls of the dirt and put it in their pockets and take it home because it's just like a shrine for them over there. We were there during the COVID time, so we didn't get to experience quite as much as we wanted to, but my kids, they went to an international school on the island we lived. We made plenty of friends. We made a bunch of memories. And the baseball was a lot of fun. It was very, very competitive. You guys can see some of the guys that are starting to come over to the States now and play. There's some studs over there, so it was a lot of fun. I would have loved to continue to play. But like a lot of athletes, I got old real fast. So leads me where I am today, which is an international scout for the Tigers. I'm still involved in the game, just on the other side of the fence. So as I look back at my career, a few moments where that didn't quite work out where I wanted it to, I realized that it was all part of God's plan in my life. Just like in 2013, I had a terrible year in AAA and ended up getting traded. I really wasn't a big fan of getting traded, and I really wanted to make the most of it, but 2014 ended up where I could be in Durham, playing in Durham and staying at home for a few months. Later on in that year, 2014, I ended up with a season-ending injury. Very disappointed at the time, but it was also the time that Morgan was pregnant with our first son, so I got to be home much more for the birth and for the first couple months of his life. Also in 2017, I ended up going to independent ball. Probably one of the lower, if not the lowest part of my career. I really didn't know what the plan was or why I was going through it, but ended up that kind of propelled me into Asian baseball because one of the coaches on that independent team had some connections with the Nexen Heroes, who I ended up going to play with in Korea. I also didn't realize how big of a piece Catawba played into my whole career. If I would have gotten that D1 dream, I never would have ended up here. Catawba gave me the chance to grow as a person and a player, and it gave me that chance to come and play as a freshman, which all the things that I really wanted to do. All those trades and all those moves throughout my career, I had to learn how to fit into new teams. But that really wasn't new to me because I learned how to do it here. Whether it was from hanging out in the dorms with all the guys, or we would go get DJ's Pizza on Mondays and watch episodes of 24. All the guys here helped me to learn how to fit in, and that wasn't new for me. Or the extra time that I had to put in when I was that 25th round pick and I had to work my way up. That wasn't new to me. Just like Kevin said, with those workouts down that weight room down there was a few nights I wasn't sure if I was going to make it out or not. And we had a group of guys down here that just continued to push, and working my way through that minor leagues, that was nothing after I came through here. Those ups and downs in the seasons and in life, I went through them here. So it wasn't really new to me. I learned so much from Catawba that it kind of rolled right into my career and it's helped me through the way. Also, playing hard and having fun. That wasn't new because I did it here. When Kevin and I arrived at Catawba, we already had an established core. We had guys like Mark and Matt Smith, Jimbo Davis, David Thomas, a bunch of guys. These guys are high character winners, and it flooded kind of down through and to the new guys. The expectations were very high. The first day I came in to my first practice, I was hitting our normal rounds of BP. And I hit probably my regular 4 or 5 rounds, and I think I might have hit 2 balls out of the cage. I was extremely nervous, and it showed. And I don't know how many of you guys know, we call him Mini-Me, Zach Evans. But he's about this tall, and he walked straight up to me, shaking his head, and just looked at me and said, "I thought you were supposed to be good." And that's just kind of how we carry ourselves. We knew we were good, we were supposed to be good, and we came out and we put it all out there on the field. Coach Gant has established Catawba baseball culture. And it shows through the players on and off the field. The culture still lives here today, lives through this team, and it lives through all of you that continue to support it. Before I close, I hope that a few of these things that I mentioned tonight kind of resonates with the players on this current team. The idea that life goes smoothly, that's really a myth. Regardless of where you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to go to college, where you hope to transfer to, where you hope what round you're going to get drafted in, you're here. Right now, all you can do is you can work hard, you can win games, you can enjoy your time. And I guarantee those lessons learned and the friendships gained from here will be more impactful in your life than anything else. I'm so grateful I get to be here tonight. And I'm so grateful that you guys allow me to come share about the impact that Catawba had on me. Again, I want to say thank you for having me. Good luck this year. Good luck to Coach Gant and his team. And I hope we win many more championships in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jerry. All right, and now the man we've all been waiting for to hear from tonight. Please welcome Catawba head baseball coach and 1989 graduate, Mr. Jim Gant.
Inside, is it better than outside?
Oh yeah.
We gotta try to do. Maybe the guys will look better. They have on the Fruit Loop shirts now. Maybe Coach McTighe will look a little better next year. Maybe we get this thing back inside. I don't know. Maybe it's push for it. But the guys used to look good dressed up. COVID caused us to go outside. Playing on the field of dreams is still a good thing. So outside is good, but after a cold day like today and wind, being back in here is really nice. Maybe we'll see what we can do. I'd like to thank everyone here. I'd like to thank oh, we can't hear? Normally I don't need a microphone. Anyway, I would like to thank everybody that's here tonight. If you look around, there's a lot of people that you probably know for years. There's people that you're going to know for years because of these events and playing on the team and the support that we have. It's kind of the bones of the fabric. I spoke last night about if you have to ask people to carry the bricks, you don't want them building anything. And you guys carry the bricks for us. I see Mr. Hurley. I first met Mr. Hurley at Rowan Little League when I was in college. Coach Gehart, who was my coach, got us jobs out there umpiring. And I met Mr. Hurley up there. He's the man that ran the show with the youth baseball. And I've always carried that relationship forward, and the information really that I talked to him at picnic tables out there, you probably don't even remember. But going forward, you envision youth and continuing that through our community with baseball and softball, American Legion baseball, college baseball, summer league baseball, and you want to continue that because personally, if I didn't have baseball, I probably, in my free time, it wasn't go to the library and study. It was maybe wear 25-cent draft, Cosmo, O'Malley's, and that kind of thing. So thank goodness for baseball. But meeting Mr. Hurley way back in the day, and now he still supports us like he does, just like everybody in this room. But you never know when you're going to meet someone that's going to influence your life, that make you directed, make you want to do things for other people. And in the end, that's what we're here for anyway, what we can do for others. And that's the best thing about this group right here. I want the team to stand up again real quickly. Just real fast, I won't put you on the spot long. Guys, this is Team 102. This is our 102nd team in the history of the school, starting in 1922. I only know that because my father-in-law is a history buff. And he asked me one day, when is the first Catawba baseball team? I'm like, well, I don't know. I have to look it up. So we Googled it, and we found it. Now in my office, I have this big wooden flag. It says 1922 on it, cross backs, 48 stars on it, because there's only 48 states then, which is kind of unique. But the 102 team and 102 season, the legacy of their team and what they're going to do for our program is up to them. And it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I can tell you 101 wasn't that good. It was hard to watch at times. I didn't do a good job. It was my fault. I didn't do a good job with it. We're much improved now. Back to the bricks. These guys are going to carry on our tradition by carrying the bricks, because we go out there daily to do things and they look for things to do. That's hard to get young people to do nowadays. It's always, you got to tell them what you got to do. Can you do this? Can you do that? Now, some of them, it's like kindergarten with their lockers and some of that stuff. I think the parents probably know. But it's a good group. I hope it translates. I would hope when this night's over, if you guys can go out of the tent and go in this gate by the clubhouse over here, walk down on the field, look at that immaculate field, sit in the dugouts. But I want you to stand out there on the field if you can, if you choose to do so in the cold, and look up there where the grandstands used to be. And I want you to try to envision and think about what we can do with that area. And we've got to get that thing going and get that thing going back, because they played baseball in the old Yankee Stadium, and when they tore it down, people said, well, it'll never happen again. Well, does the Yankees still have a team? Not very good, but they have one. You know what I mean? But they built it back new, and they still play baseball in it. But what we got to do here, there's a lot of history, a lot of legacy in there. We got to build it new and create our new legacy going forward. Now, it's 102 teams. It's been pretty good. We've had a lot of successes. But if we do this thing correctly, the next 102 years can be even better. And with you guys' support and everything that you do for us, we're so grateful. And I thank you very much for coming out and supporting us, and the committee, our families, everybody that does everything for us. Thank you.
I'm sure I'm not the only one here that hopes that you're here for another 102 years.
I may not be the coach when this thing's built, but I'm not dying until it's happened.
Amen.
All right, so to make a special presentation to Coach Gann and the Catawba baseball team, let's welcome out Miss Sherry Graham, class of 1983, and Hen Hinderlight.
He really does, and this committee, and I really do love this man. I wish I could have played on this team. I think I feel like y'all are my kids and my sons, and I'm probably one of the top cranky people that complains about stuff. Yeah. But anyway, I love this school. We love what we do. We love this event, and we are thrilled to present you with a check for $115,000.
Folks, that concludes our program tonight. We thank you again to our sponsors, alumni, parents, and fans for your support of Catawba baseball. If you would like to continue to support our Catawba baseball team and our 600-plus student athletes, please consider joining the Chiefs Club today. The gifts to the Chiefs Club enrich the overall experience of over 600 student athletes. Your membership and donations to the Chiefs Club support and enhance all areas of college's successes and growing athletic programs. The Chiefs Club has supported Catawba student athletes since 1976. To support our 24 intercollegiate teams and 600 student athletes, alumni, parents, and fans, you can do that by joining online at catawba.edu/Chiefs Club. Thank you all for coming out. Safe travels back home. Good night.
All right.